Right guys, good morning. My name's Connor. This is Hotheads Media. We bring you the latest and greatest from our dynamic industry. We're the information specialists, your trusted source of information and news for our industry. So I missed last week. I had a bit of personal stuff going on. I did lose a close family friend last week. So that made me kind of have the week off, and I was a little bit like all over the place. So I didn't want to come on and stream. But I do feel like it set me off a little bit, like not coming in on a Monday morning. It's kind of like a routine now. I've been doing it pretty much every week for the whole year. So I did feel a little bit all over the place with everything else going on. So it is nice to be back. Welcome back. You know, it's nice to be here again. I feel like just being off a week that I've missed so much. So I'm going to try and catch you guys up with everything going on. So as of last week, obviously, we had a lot of economic news. We had, obviously, Trump won, he was elected. We're going to see how that affects on Europe, especially if you're in business. The Bank of England have reduced business rates. You know, there's lots going on. It seems positive in the economy. It seems positive going forward and into 2025. So let's have a look at some of the news and we will crack on now. Right, so first bit of information was... I did say, obviously, the Bank of England have reduced rates now. So they've cut interest rates to 4.75%. This is breaking news. The Bank of England has cut interest rates 4.75% after inflation fell to a 3-year low in September. Like I say, the economy is looking good. And what that's going to mean is it's, you know, you pay less on like your mortgage and stuff like that. It's not directly for business, but anything you pay interest on is going to now have been reduced. So Trevor Sorbie passed away last week. He's a big icon within the industry. You know, they have products, salons, Sorbie salons. He's a really well-known figure within the industry, and he was suffering with ill health for many years. And yeah, basically he passed away last week. So, you know, that was a big thing within the industry. Obviously, I wasn't able to cover it exactly last week, so I'm now covering it today. So it's with a heartfelt emotion that we share the passing of our esteemed founder, Trevor Sorbie MBE. Trevor passed away peacefully with his family, beloved dog by his side. Trevor's journey marked an unparalleled creativity and kindness, has left an incredible mark on the world of hairdressing and beyond. So I won't read that whole thing, but what I will do is at the end, I'm going to pay like a homage to Trevor Sorbie, and we're going to leave the video, we're going to end it out with like a video of Trevor Sorbie if you don't exactly know who he is. So I thought this was good to share with you guys, especially if you are a barber. So this is barber vocabulary, words every barber should master. So in 2025, it's going to be the year of promoting yourself, really bringing us to new heights. And I think having the right vocabulary to describe your services to your clients and to the general public is going to be really, really informative, and it's going to be a great way of distinguishing yourself as an actual professional if you don't know these already. So autonomy, asymmetry, balance, bevel. I won't read all of them, but I think if you go on to and follow Gradient, basically, you can see all the stuff from the Gradient book. It's like a learning book, and they're always giving you little tips, and like basically this is one of the sectors you can go and see. It's barber vocabulary, and it would be a great book for you to go and purchase. I'm sure you can find a link in their bio to go and get it, but this is just a thing you can find in it. So like I say, all of these things you need to know, like even stuff like the masteroid process. I always refer to the masteroid bone, and nobody really knows what it is. So stuff like that really, really helps your learning and progressing within the industry. So if you want to progress and you want to talk about like strategy and build a profile, Chris Foster, he's amazing. I'm doing the IBE program with them. This is stuff we will learn on. I've literally missed 2 weeks now because of everything going on in my life. It's hard running a shop, running a coffee shop, doing this each week. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But you know, when then stuff happens, you know, I feel like I've missed out a little bit. So I'm trying to catch up, like I say, stuff like this. I'm going to catch up with the IBE program. That's what's great. If you do miss a week, you can go on and watch videos and tutorials. But let's talk about this now. This is Chris Foster, building a strategy. So building authority within the barbering industry or the hairdressing industry can dramatically elevate your career. So that's a great way of elevating your career, is building authority or Yeah, build an authority within the industry. So he's going to show you how to do that now. So it can elevate your career, income, and influence. Watch this video to discover my top hack for achieving just that.
From the Netherlands, but I had been writing in magazines since 2007 was the first magazine I actually had a column in. And this hack, I didn't realize.
So just briefly, if you missed that first bit, he basically says, make sure you write in a column in a magazine, because it really gives you a sense of authority and professionalism, and it makes other barbers look to what you're saying, basically, look to read what you're saying, and even clients and the general public, really.
At the time, but this was really fundamental in brands seeing what I can do. By writing about what you do, it shows you as an expert rather than doing the thing. So experts write, they share their knowledge and they share their authority. Guys, whatever you do, get the number one strategy for any person in the industry is to grow their trust and credibility fast. There is nothing quite like having a column in a magazine.
I think that's amazing. I think that's a great bit of advice. Go and follow Chris Foster. See if you can get on any program he does, because it's unbelievable. Chris Foster is wicked. So what else we got going on this week? So Stylecraft have dropped this new collection. It's called Ace. Now it looks like it's a trimmer, a foiler, a hairdryer, and like a big clipper. So another Stylecraft Pro collection complete. You can get this entire combo at S&C Carry and S&C Carry case for $300. Think that's a good deal. So you get the Ace clipper, Ace shaver, Ace trimmer, Ace foldable hairdryer, and TPOB's obviously commenting on it. He comments on everything. Now, I quite like the look of this Ace. I don't know if I'm going to go and buy it, to be honest with you. I'm not even sure if it's available in the UK right about now. But I was flicking through, and I do like the look of it, I can't lie. There is one thing I do like. So basically, let's see if we can play this now. So if you see, when they turn it around, it's like a digital thing on the side here. I think that looks quite cool. It's all metal housing. You know, it's like got these little grip things on the back. It does look cool. I can't say it doesn't. And if I was going to go for a Stylecraft or a Gamma, other than the Gamma Boosted, I would maybe go for something like this. It does look good. I can't say it doesn't. Not sure the trimmer is up to the same standard, but until I try it, I don't know. And then look at this hairdryer. It like folds away. Interested. You know, if you're into it, if you've tried it, let me know your thoughts. I would be interested in trying this. So that's the new Ace set from Stylecraft Pro. Right, so now we're getting into some giveaways and discounts. Obviously, it's November. It's Black Friday month. Make sure you're checking out for all the deals, discounts. If you really want to buy stuff for Christmas, for your partner, whether it be like hair dryers for your missus, or if you want to buy clippers for your boyfriend, if you just want to buy any electrical goods and it's revolved around barbering, hairdressing and beauty, November is your month, because there's Black Friday deals on everything. So MATAKKI, they've got 30% off. So 30% off all MATAKKI items on the website, servicing, accessories and scissors. That's right. Everything is on sale for the month of November, but wait, there's more. Our distributors are also joining the fun, so don't miss out on the points when ordering for your usual source of MATAKKI steel. So that's really good, amazing. So 30% off MATAKKI all month. So Black Friday, huge discounts at Barber Blades. So deals, deals and deals. Sorry guys, I just sneezed there. Oh, right. So deals, deals, deals for the whole of November. This is Barber Blades. We'll be adding more items throughout the month, so keep your eyes out for the tools. So this is just all the things that it's flicking through here that you can get Black Friday deals on everything. And like they say, they're going to be adding more tools throughout the month. If you need new tools for the year, for next year, you know, you're looking to invest, this is a perfect time in November to get your discounted tools. So Chris & Sons, obviously Black Friday sales. You know, I'm not going to be biased to any one brand or not. Our Black Friday sale has started. Keep tuned for more. Make sure to sign up to our emails for early access on some of our biggest and best offers. Wow, you know, that's going to be great. So Chris and Son, staying with them, they've got a giveaway, a huge giveaway alert to celebrate the pre-order drop of the new Babyliss Pro Matte Black and Gold FX1 collections. We're giving away the entire Matte Black FX1 clipper, skeleton trimmer and shaver collection to one lucky follower. So how to enter? Follow Chris and Sons at Chris and Sons IE. So tag 3 friends in the comments below. More tags, more chances to win. So bonus, share this post on your story for an extra win. Okay, so that's amazing. Actually, I've just seen that now, and because we're a week behind, this was from last week, winners will be announced. So apparently the winner's already gone, so let's move on. So what else have we got now? So if you want to win the brand new advanced styler from Babyliss Pro, I had a feel of this. What show was I at last? Might have been Salon International. This was really good, actually. I'm looking to invest in a pair of straighteners soon. So, you know, if you want to win a pair, win the brand new advanced styler from Babyliss Pro. How to enter? Make sure you're following the PROHAIRMAG and Babyliss Pro UK. Tag your salon bestie. So good luck. So yes, there's one. So there's one to win there. Right, I think that's it for giveaways. Yes, I believe it is giveaways, but make sure you're checking out all the deals you can. So I just want to reference the Nobel Barber, because the Nobel Barber is an amazing podcast. He gets amazing people on there. There's been some great names already, but I do feel within his sector, which is getting people on podcasting and stuff, he is one of the leading people. But what I do want to bring up is the fact that they started doing these podcasts, so we say, where they sit down with a group of people. Now, all I'm going to ask is, so they've done 2 now, are these the most relevant people to sit down and ask questions at a barber podcast or a barber show? Now, when you are a leading figure within the industry, or you're a leading brand in whatever niche market you're doing, podcasting, marketing, anything like that, you need to make sure that you're in the click. You need to make sure that what the information you're giving is relevant. And I am personally just not 100% sure that these are the right people to ask these questions, to first promote your business, get the traction, and to really have the biggest say. This is only my opinion. So they had the guy who owns London School of Barbering. You had... what's the guy? He's just won Wild Barber of the Year. You had Phil Jarman, I think it is. So he's the head of Gamma, the Wild Barber of the Year, head of London School of Barbering. I'm just not sure they're the most relevant people within the industry at the moment. But you know what? Some people will resonate to them people and others won't. So, and I know you can't just have the same people on all the time, and it is about bringing diversity in, but I'm just going to ask the question, is there better people you could get on or ask to come on the podcast to really elevate our industry as a whole, and for you to be a spokesperson as a whole? So they've just done another one, and I literally haven't got a clue who the other people are. So, and I try and stay involved with the industry, and I really haven't got a clue about who these other people are, other than they're all like barbers and hairdressers within London. So I'm just asking the question. Again, I love the Nobel Barber. Anthony the Ban is amazing. I think it's an amazing podcast. And if you are watching this, anybody, go run up his page, run up the subscribers. It's a really good thing for our industry. I just ask the questions, that's all. Right, so then we're moving on to the Final Cut. Now, the Final Cut podcast is something ran in conjunction with like Barber Evo, and like Simon Shaw is on there, and the guy who runs, Barber Evo and stuff like that. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But I just don't know if these things are relevant, or are you just wasting your time? Because, and first off, this one goes out on Facebook. I really don't know who's on Facebook anymore. It's really all about pushing the Instagram, obviously, within our industry. YouTube is becoming big, and I would like to see more people on Twitter, but Facebook is dead. Like, so the Final Cut podcast, you can only really watch on Facebook. I couldn't really find it anywhere else. It is a good and different perspective on stuff like this, but again, is this relevant, and are you just wasting your time doing this and watching it? It's hard to go and direct, so maybe these are points. Get it on YouTube, get it on Twitter, get it on Spotify, anything like that, so it makes it easier for the general viewer to go and watch. Let's try and make things a little bit more fun. Again, you're not going to watch this until this channel blows a little bit, but I do think these are good points. And get people who are like interesting on, shall we say, or who are relevant to our industry. So they had one on the other day, Robert Eaton, amazing. I love Robert Eaton, but he's like, to the barbering industry per se, which you run, let's say, Barber Evo alongside Salon Evo, yes, I get. Robert Eaton is like a UK famous hairdresser. He's won British Hairdresser of the Year maybe a couple times now. A really, really well-renowned name within the industry, but I don't think many people outside of barbering really, outside of hairdressing, know who Robert Eaton is. And that's just my opinion on it. Obviously, this is the Final Cut podcast. They've had Hayden Cassidy on. That's going to generate a couple of views. But again, if you had this on a different platform, I think you're going to do better with it. I just think going forward, in the age of information, anybody doing these podcast things needs to be on point. It needs to be relevant, and it needs to be the people who our industry want to see and can resonate with, not just these people who tend to be at the top echelons of our industry. This is all I'm saying. So it's not even having a go. It's just trying to bring us all and level us all up. So, right, that's our hot topic. So I'm going to move on now to our hot topic. So I hope I covered everything from the last 2 weeks. Again, I'm going to be back to normal this week now. Monday every week, going to get some clips out. Didn't do anything last week, so we're going to roll on to our hot topic this week. So our hot topic is 42% of businesses to close. That is such a mind-boggling thing that 42% of businesses may close in the near future. I think that's just incredible, and actually, it's actually quite scary. But I do believe with everything that went on with the budget and how it does affect our industry, for example, it doesn't surprise me if 42% of businesses and salons do close. It's going to make things harder to employ. Everyone's going to the self-employed model. Nobody's taking on apprentices. I've had 2 or 3 people over the past month go, can we have an apprenticeship? And I haven't done that for a year or 2, but now I'm definitely not. It's just not something I can facilitate myself. And I do believe a lot of people are worried. I've seen everybody increasing their prices already. We are going to increase our prices as a shop, but we're not going to do it till April next year. But again, with rents going up, everything like this, and then paying your staff and the new way the Labour government has structured our business in terms of finance, it's difficult. I've seen things go on already, so this is exactly what I want to go over, and apparently 42% of businesses are looking to close within the near future. So let's have a look at this now. So, right, the future of salons and apprenticeships are at risk, according to a recent survey carried out by the British Hair Consortium. Results have shown that since the recent budget announcement, salon owners have been forced to a highly challenging position, with many questioning their future business structure and their ability to afford pending business costs. So sad. The October 2024 budget has put even more pressure on industry that has already been struggling with the impact of cost of living, increased electricity bills, and for many, the recovery of COVID, exactly like what I've just said. So the survey results show a generation of apprentices are at risk. Figures show numbers that are already down by 82% pre-COVID. Department for Education, that's exactly what I was saying. I haven't taken on an apprenticeship since COVID, and this is just going to make it harder. 42% of respondents are now considering closing their businesses within the next 12 months. That is an incredible statistic. The direct employment of staff through PAYE is now at risk of extinction, with 98% of respondents considering switching to self-employment, even if it isn't lawful, but feel forced to do so in order to survive. 80% saying they are forced to consider switching to self-employment, and a further 18% saying maybe. Now, I don't think that's 100% right. You can switch to a self-employed model, and of course it's a legal thing. Of course you can switch, but I don't think you can force anybody out of employment to self-employed status. But if people don't comply with what you want to do going forward in your business, that ultimately means if they don't work with you, they're probably going to not be working with you for much longer. And that's all it really means. But it's not illegal to go to a self-employed model if that's what's going to work best for your business. So, what else we got? So 95% of those that employ apprentices said they will reduce the number of apprentices they have, not take on any more apprenticeships, or have already made all apprenticeships redundant. 94% are either extremely concerned for the future or believe the generation of apprenticeships will be lost. 98% of respondents do not believe our sector is valued by the government, with a total of 98% of respondents considering in some capacity switching to self-employed business model. The question of the professionalism and future of the industry has been raised. When done correctly and with HMRC guidelines, this can work. However, the reality can be a very different picture. Many workers relinquish their employment rights in exchange for promises of more money in their pocket. Furthermore, many of these unscrupulous business owners use the model as vehicle to avoid VAT by splitting income at the worker level, says Helen Ward from the British Hair Consortium. Well, yeah, of course they do, because VAT is crippling our industry. Like, I don't think many people have, let me just reread that so I get this right. So, furthermore, many of the unscrupulous business owners, I don't think it's unscrupulous. I think they're making strategic moves to keep their business alive. For them to say and word it exactly like this makes it out that we're the bad guys having a business and trying to keep the doors open. Helen Ward from the British Hair Consortium. And yes, it is technically a vehicle to avoid VAT, but that's to keep the doors open. That's to keep the lights on. We would love to pay VAT if it was fair and if it was right for our industry. But the service level and the service industry gets hit more by VAT than any other industry. We can't then go and charge VAT on a haircut. If I charge 30 quid on a haircut, I'm paying now 36 quid, while my client or the general consumer is now paying £36 just to get the £30 haircut for me. Then we have to hold it. It costs me an extra 12 grand a year just to be VAT registered, and it's just not acceptable, and it's just not viable within our industry and within our structure of the way we run our business and the way a lot of people run their business. So to make it out and villainize the fact that it's the unscrupulous shop owners that are making this industry reduce the level of quality and basically get around paying tax is just, it's just a mental mindset. I think, that's just mad. It's really, really shocking actually that I've just read that. But yeah, that is the survey in a nutshell. I'm not going to go too much into it because I need to move on today. But that's just mental. You know, it's blown my mind actually reading that. And Helen Ward from the British Hair Consortium. Shame on you. Okay, so moving on. Right, we're going to move on to some artist spotlight now. And the artist spotlight this week, we will jump straight in. Let's go over. So first up in the artist spotlight this week, we've got Lou's Barbers. So Lou Barbers I met the guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Is it Rob? It looks like his name's Rob. So I met him when I went to British Barber Bash last week. Lovely guy. He pulled up in this transit van, which I thought was amazing. And I just missed him getting in, so I managed to collar him when I was in the Great British Barber Bash. And Lou's Barbers is actually his wife. They're a multi-award winning barbershop, brand ambassador for Dapper Dan. Shout out Dapper Dan. And they're based in Gloucester. And I think this is great. He's a lovely guy. He was cutting at Great British Barber Bash. So, yeah, well done to him. And this is the little van there got going. So, this is what I've seen in the car park. I hope this really works. Congratulations to you. Go out, smash it, make loads of money, because that's what we need. So that's shouting out Lou's Barbers. So my next one is Chazzy Chops. So this is Charlie Salter. So that's where you can find him, Chazzy Chops. So I spoke to him at Great British Barber Bash as well. And he was a really nice bloke. This was the first time he's been on stage or doing some sort of performance. He said he was really nervous about it. But you know what? He absolutely smashed it. His haircut looked wicked. His model was great. You know what? So I just wanted to give him a shout out. And, you know, his work looks great. Looks like he does a bit of, like, training to keep fit, everything like that. But you know what, mate? Like, your work was really good. Really enjoyed watching it. Congratulations. It looked like you'd done it a million times over. So that is Chazzy Chops. If you want to go follow him on Instagram, run up his page. So the last one in the artist spotlight this week is Zania Barber. So he was on stage and I didn't actually catch his performance, but what I did catch was the fact that he was sort of mentoring a couple of guys who were doing like competitions and that. And I thought this was incredible. There was a guy there doing like patterns and stuff like that. And his pattern work was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Loved watching it. But what Zania was doing in the background was kind of like just guiding him along a little bit. And obviously Zania Kurd, if that's his surname, he's in the Wild Pro Artistic team, a multi-award winning barber. Didn't get a chance to speak to him or anything like that, but I did like the fact he was there. He stayed there the whole day. He was obviously on early and he stayed there the whole day guiding people. There was a big group of them, and you know what? I just wanted to give him a shout out because actually I thought that was really cool, helping other people along and helping other people's careers progress. So yeah, I'm going to give them three a shout out and congratulations to you guys. So we're going to move on and we have now got, what have we got? Q&A, right. First, let's get on. So number one, I'm a hairdresser and thinking from moving from a 5.5 scissor to a 6 or 7. Any advice? If you're used to a bigger scissor and you are a hairdresser, obviously, well, it says you're a 5.5 scissor. Sometimes going from a 6 to a 7, I personally wouldn't recommend. If you've only ever used a 5.5, a 6 and a 7, you know, can really feel quite unbalanced. And a 6 or a 7 scissor is predominantly more for scissor over comb. You know, when you're doing short scissor over comb work in the nape, you know, if you're doing women's haircuts or, you know, if you're doing short men's haircuts and you do a lot of scissor over comb, 6 or 7 works better because the longer the blade, the longer it takes to heat up, and then the more the blade the less the blade expands. If you do that on shorter scissor, puts more strain on your wrist and the blade heats up a lot quicker, expands so you don't get a cleaner cut. I think a 5.5 is perfect, especially for a hairdresser. Tends to be slightly smaller hand than a male. And a 5.5 is on the edge of the longest sort of scissor you can have for hairdressers. I do know people who go for 7s, but I think, or 6s, but I think they've been using them their whole life. I myself personally use a 5 or a 5-inch for precision cutting or point cutting or you know, anything like that. But if I'm going to do scissor over comb, sorry, it's either a 6 or a 7. So I personally would say no, but what you could do is I would personally say stick with your 5.5, but I would say you get these scissor sellers that come around, maybe have a go with one of them. You could go to a show and see if you can have a feel of a 6. I just felt they were really, you have to make sure that they are balanced as well, especially when you're moving up in scissors. But it's best to go and get, before you buy, go and try. I think that's the best idea, really, rather than just ordering and then not be happy with it. So one of my staff members would like to go self-employed. We use fresh air, but all get sprayed into, all gets paid into one bank. Do you know any booking system that can set up different bank accounts so they can get paid directly? I do. So Squire does that. That's who we use. But in all honesty with you, I'm going to be realistic. Like, I'm not just here going, oh, we love Squire, this and that. I've never had a problem with Squire the whole time we've used it. You know, it hasn't gone down like Booksy, Nearcut, all of them others. But for the past month, I've been having a lot of problems with our booking app. And, you know, it's not all bells and whistles when you try new things, and you've got to go out and try it. I was really happy, but like everything at the moment, it doesn't seem to perform the way I need it to. Would I recommend Squire? Yes, I would recommend Squire. It does the payment split, does make it easy. 75% to 80% of the time, it works perfect. But it's like anything, you have glitches and you've got to get through it, and that's something I've got to get onto today. So Squire does that, yeah. What else? What do you think about a mobile van barbershop? I've literally just gone on about that. Yeah, great idea. If you don't have to pay shop fees, you don't have to pay all of that, why not go and make some money if you can travel and you can be bothered to go to people's houses or park up outside people's houses. I signed a lease on a property in July. It took a while to sort the lease and refurbish the unit. I'm about to open next month, but in the time I've taken to open a barber shop has opened across the street. I obviously gutted and distressed and not sure what to do. Any advice? The only thing I can really say, wow, yeah, that's a tough one. Like, I'm not going to lie, that is tough. That is direct competition, but you have to try and set yourself apart with giving a quality haircut. See what they offer. If they do walk-in appointments or they do walk-ins, offer appointments. Maybe try and offer something they don't do. Extra services like facials and skincare routines. You can give an extra time, you know, if you want to try and level up a little bit more than them. That is a bit of a struggle, and all you can do is not be too worried about what they're doing. You have to concentrate on your own journey, make sure marketing and advertising is on point. Now, you don't have to go out and spend a lot, you just have to really be consistent on Instagram, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, but probably predominantly Twitter for our industry. Predominantly Instagram for our industry. Advertise, give loyalty, discount rewards. Maybe do the shop up a little bit different, you know, give it your quirky feel. Don't just make it look like every other barbershop. There's different things you can do, definitely, but you need to definitely concentrate on your idea of a shop. Don't let what anybody else is doing change what you want to do. But one thing I will say is be consistent. Open at the same time every day. Close at the same time every day. Close at the same time every day. Be consistent with your services, your timing, your pricing. Stay relevant. Open 6 days a week rather than 5 days. If they don't open on a Sunday, open on a Sunday. That's where you're going to generate traffic and clients to the shop where they're not. And that's just a few things you can do. And if you don't want to do it, let's see if one of your staff members can do it for you. So good luck with that. So followed your journey from the start of Hotheads Media. It's great to see you pushing your content. What's been the highlight of the year so far? Oh, wow. There's been you know what? There's been a lot of highlights. I've met so many people doing this channel and having so much support from the industry. That's been amazing. It's gave me a really deep dive into our industry that I thought I already knew, but was only skimming the surface. I'm aspiring to really take this to the next level. Do you know what? It's just, all the feedback I've had has been absolutely amazing. I really feel I've found a niche within the market, and everybody I talk to is saying the same thing, and it's really benefiting people's careers. I think that's it. I'm helping people within our industry stay up to date, stay relevant, get the right information they need. We are information specialists, and yeah, it's been really positive, and it's been such a highlight just getting these messages, people saying, oh, this has really helped, thanks for doing this. That's been amazing. I've had so many highlights this year. It's really gave me a boost in my own career in terms of just feeling inspired, going to these things. Do you know what? It's just been such an amazing journey already, and I can't wait to see how far we can go with this and where we can go with it. So that's pretty much it for today. I hope I've caught you guys up with everything. I can't wait to see you next week. Let's get some clips out this week as well. And yeah, I hope you all have a blessed week. I hope you all earn loads of money. And yeah, I will see you all next Monday. I am now just going to play out a homage to Trevor Sorbie, RIP.
Trevor Sorbie is considered one of today's foremost international hair designers. He dominates the world of hair fashion, creating new styles and techniques. Where Trevor leads, others follow. But who is the man behind the styles? Let's take a look at the very private man behind the public glamour. Originally, Trevor didn't even want to be a hairdresser.
When I was at school, I wanted to be an artist and to paint. But through a sequence of events, I left school quite abruptly. And my father sort of said to me, basically, would you like to help me while you find another job? And I said yes. And I started work there. And after 3 months, I was actually cutting people's hair. I found it quite easy. I never found hairdressing difficult, but I never at the same time felt I was going to go much further.
However, Trevor's talents were quickly spotted. After training, he went to work for Vidal Sassoon, who at that time was revolutionising the art of hairdressing.
At that moment, Sassoon's was the biggest sort of name around, and he was causing a revolution in hair by cutting and blow-drying hair, and at that time everyone else was setting hair and into what we call the sort of old school of hairdressing that was still very popular. And I would consider it to be probably one of the most exciting times in hairdressing, because it was that big transition into what we do today. So therefore, it was incredibly exciting.
The turning point in Trevor's career came when he created the wedge in 1974.
I one day was trying to cut this one-length haircut just around the hairline, around the outside. And just by chance, I literally brushed the hair back, just to, as you do when you're working with hair, you try many different things. And just out of that appeared this great sort of shape, which was like a wedge-like shape that came into a V at the back. And I looked at it, I could not believe what had actually happened. And if anyone could ask me when did ambition come into my life, I'd say at that point. Because when you sort of do something or achieve something, you think, crikey, I've done that once, you know, that was great feeling, and could I do it again? And that starts to become the sort of motivation in your life. I want to do that again. And that gave me an incredible amount of sort of thirst to want to achieve a similar result, but with another hairstyle.
And Trevor did do it, again and again and again. There was the scrunch. And then the Wolfman. the scrunch bob, and the chop, top hairstyle of 1983. Trevor believes that hairstyle should make women look beautiful, so his favourite model is Debbie Brett, voted the most beautiful woman in the world in 1984 and a leading model. Since 1981, Debbie's hair has unerringly epitomised the inventive yet commercial appeal of the Sorbie style. But what comes next?
There's quite a big revival at the moment, fashion-wise, in Europe for the sort of 60s feeling, and consequently the hair then was quite sort of geometric. We're doing them obviously in a different way, much newer to look at, and of course the textures are very important with hairstyles today. I think the textures are going to change quite dramatically. We're not going to be looking for high hair. All that's going to go. It's going to be much flatter to the head.
Trevor travels thousands of miles a year with his hair shows, demonstrating his styles and techniques to audiences of top hairdressers. He is now acknowledged as the world's finest show hairdresser, but still gets a bit nervous in front of a large audience.
I have a sort of a love-hate relationship with that, because it's very difficult. I mean, I've been on stage hundreds of times now, and every time I go on, I really say to myself, what am I doing here? Because my stomach just feels as though it's just being twisted around inside, and the adrenaline that's pumping through me it frightens me a little bit, because I just feel very, very scared before I go on any stage. But the feeling, having said that, of when you've done a good job and you see those people respond to you, that feeling afterwards of, you know, you just feel you've achieved something incredibly good, which is a lot of people have got something out of it, and you've helped to do that. And in a sense, that balances up that horrible feeling in the beginning. So I have very much a love-hate relationship. I wish I could overcome the first part of it, but those nerves are probably what helps me get through it.